Hello, and thank you for joining me today. My name is Dr. Stephanie West, and today we are going to talk about how to build an effective course. Now, if you are at the K-12 levels, this can be done with your state standards in mind, and if you're at the college and university levels, this is where our course competencies come into play. So let's get started on how this can be accomplished. All right, building an effective course. Building an effective course is the most foundational part of building a good, effective course in anything: reading, writing, math, social studies, any college course. You have to start with the course competencies. Now, these course competencies for us at the college and university levels, they can be found in the course catalogs. They can be found through your department chairs. Those of you that are K-12 learners or teachers, you can find these on your Department of Education websites or through your district offices. So let's take a look at the children's literature's course competencies that I use here in the Phoenix area. Now, as you look through these course competencies, find the themes, the major themes throughout the course competencies. As you can see, there are 16 here that I need to cover in a 15-week period of time. So the first one that we look at is the history and development of picture and illustrated books. Another one is the function of picture books. Another one is folk tales. Again, here's another folk tale. So folk tales is kind of important. So I'm going to think, well, maybe I need to do a little bit more on folk tales than others. There's characteristics of fables. There's the literary criteria used that is so important too in any reading class. There's fantasy work, nursery rhymes, poetry, historical writing. So once I have all of these done, then I start to look, how can I break this down week to week so that it's effective and that there's a logical flow to things. Now, if you teach math, you know the logical flow to how to break down your equations and build upon those foundational skills. Those of you at the K-12 level, especially in elementary schools, you need to start from the bottom up. What's your foundational skills and build up from there. So let's take a look at the week-to-week breakdown in children's literature. So week 1, of course, is my expectations and guidelines. Week 2, the benefits of reading, growth mindset, and true colors. Now, I throw this in most of my college courses just to put in that growth mindset, that they can do this. This can get a little overwhelming at times to most people. True colors is a personality test that I do that shows what kind of learner they are. Now, some of this is important. I've always found, no matter what age I've taught, that understanding learning styles is very important. But then you can see how it kind of starts to flow. So I start more with the history of children's books, books for the very young, artists and illustrators, and children's books. Then I move into modern realistic. Then we do a big midterm project, which is an author study, and they have to come up with several things on that. It's worth 200 points. Then we go into folk tales, fables, myths, and epics. And then, of course, poetry. Modern fantasy, we work into historical fiction, and we start into biographies and autobiographies. And I do cover censorship and reading across content areas. Reading across content areas is so key to teaching children because they need to know that reading is everywhere. And in the end is the final projects. We do a big final project. It's a bookshelf project where they have an annotated bibliography of over 40 books. Now, as I look at my course calendar, I have to look at how is this going to lay out. My favorite thing to use is just a table. And so you can see my lesson plan calendar and chart. If you look at this, it has the week with the dates. This was done last spring of 2019. I have my focus, folk tales, fables, myth, and epics. I have my competencies, so I know that I'm covering all my competencies. And by the time I'm done, I make sure that I've marked off every competencies When I was doing this at the K-12 level, I would make sure all state standards were covered also. Then I have a presentation, which is actually a PowerPoint similar to the one you're watching now, that I use, and that's the easiest thing for me to use, and it keeps track of everything. You can see group projects are included. Good hands-on projects is never a bad thing. I have my homework listed, and everything's there for them for homework. As you can see on the other side, on Monday, I always have, once a week, I have a discussion board where they have to go in and reflect, and there's always something to reflect. Now, I have included this full table and the link to this video on my webpage, which I will be displaying later. But as you can see, I've added everything that I will be doing each day, including videos, work groups, discussion questions, assignments. And what's so nice is once I have this built, I can use it time and time again. Now you have a course built with strong foundation, rooted in course competencies or your state standards, and you build from there. In the next video, which will be coming, will be how to write a syllabus with Blueprint and Canvas in mind, with those of us that use the Blueprint with the community colleges and the Canvas program, which is always an effective program to use and upload everything. But that will be coming in the coming weeks. So I want to appreciate you for visiting with me today. Here is my website. If you go to my website and subscribe to that page, you can receive all the updates, any videos that I produce and post on that website, and you'll be constantly updated. You can also post questions there if you would like to. Questions that I will be happy to answer you and build from there. The world of education can be overwhelming at times, and hopefully this type of program will help you in the end. Again, thank you for visiting with me, and I will see you next time.